Going to elementary school in a mostly white state was not for the weak. Like, imagine having racist teachers at the ripe age of 6. Like, one of my teachers literally hated my guts for no reason. How are you a grown woman beefing with a 6-year-old? Like, make it make sense. One time, we were having like a birthday party, right? People would bring cupcakes and stuff like that. So the teacher will pick out the people to pass out the cupcakes so like kids didn't get mad or whatever. So like, I never got picked. Even if the kid wanted me to pass out, the teacher never picked me. So this time I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ask her first. And I was like, hey, Miss Johnson, can I pass them out? She was like, oh yeah, sure, of course. So here I am out on the playground, like bragging to all my friends, like, oh my gosh, I know she's gonna pick me this time. Like, I'm gonna get you last, you know, being like a kid. So recess ends and like we all go inside and it's time to like pass out the cupcakes. So I raise my hand. She doesn't pick me. Okay. So I was like, that's weird. Now you just made me look like a liar. So like after we all ate the cupcakes, I was like, hey, why didn't, like, I thought you said I could do it. She then goes to tell me, like, I heard you outside bragging to your friends. We don't do that here. I don't know what you did earlier, but in this class, you don't do that. So, of course, I burst out crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This was a grown woman, by the way, making a 6-year-old cry. One can argue that was not racist. It was just mean. Fast forward to 5th grade. I'm in student council, right? So our school had this thing where like kids can like get free meals or whatever. So we would like go and pass them out to the classroom. So I go into the counselor's office to like pick up the bags to give to the kids or whatever. This counselor, this old white lady at that, tells me, what are you doing here? You have to wait till the people drop it off at your classroom. Wait your turn. What? Excuse me? So like I was really confused. I was like, I'm part of the student council. I don't get these bags. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just assumed. Even back then, I was like, what made you think that I was coming to like take a bag? She was like, oh, you know how kids are. You know, they always, you know. Uh-huh. Okay. And I know some of you guys are gonna say, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Listen to this one. So one day in 3rd grade, my mom was in the PTA and we were setting up this like Christmas shop where kids can buy little Christmas gifts for their parents. So one of my friends at the time was like, hey, like, you know, what if we take something? Like, you know, nobody's gonna know. At first I said no, but then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little risky today. Let's do it. I remember I took a pencil sharpener and like a little squishy. That's it. She was taking the snacks. She was taking like almost everything. I was like, hey, like they're gonna notice, like don't take that much. She was like, oh no, it's fine, like it's okay. Mind you, this girl was like 1 or 2 grades lower than me. I was like, okay girl, period. Obviously they took count of everything they had and they noticed that like something was missing. So they checked on the cameras and they eventually found out it was us. So get this, I get 3 days in school suspension. She gets 1. Okay, I can't shop at the Santa shop anymore. She still gets to go. Oh, it was just because you were older. Like, you should have known better. No, it was racist. And the sad part of it all is our moms took us to go get ice cream afterward because we were so good, not knowing that we just stole.
I spent $700 on a flight to go see a man only to reject me after seeing me with no filter. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it's that I'm on Instagram. You're gonna hate me even more by the time this ends. I'm gonna call this man Pee-wee. He lied about being 6'2". Because when I met him, he was more like 5'7". So Pee-wee and I met on a dating app, because everybody meets on an app today. We messaged each other for about 4 hours. After that, he was completely obsessed. I gave him my Instagram, and after that, he started liking all of my pictures and videos. Now, I really don't post a lot, but what I do have on my page is very cute. And yes, I do use a filter every now and then. But in my defense, I did not use a filter in every single picture. In fact, a lot of my pictures are without makeup. But apparently, he didn't see any of those. After 3 days of DMing each other, he asked me if I wanted to come visit him. He lives very far away, which means I needed to be the one to fly over there. And why was I okay with this? Because I was delusional. When he suggested it, I thought he was going to pay for the ticket. But he said, let me know when you've booked your flight. So I thought, okay, maybe he'll pay for half of it later. But no, I booked my flight like the idiot I am, get myself on a plane, and the whole time we're still talking. After 8 hours of traveling to go see this man, I'm exhausted and hungry. He comes to pick me up, but when I see him, I knew right away he lied. He was not 6'2". He was like 5'7". After we hugged and said hi, Pee-wee started staring at my face. And let's just say he was not impressed. We got into Pee Wee's car, and that's when he said, "You look really different in real life." Then he started asking me how old I really was. I had to show him my license to prove that I wasn't telling a lie. And that's when he said that he wasn't really feeling me, and that I could go back home if I wanted to. Excuse me? After 8 hours of traveling, he didn't even offer to take me to dinner, he didn't even ask me how I was. He just said, "You can go." I asked him to pay for the ticket, and he said he couldn't. On his Instagram, he presents himself as being rich. Called him out on not being 6'2", and he said that he didn't lie about that. Well, I got a hotel and stayed the weekend, and then I went home. I feel like an idiot. I would love to punish him, but I don't know how. Any ideas?
My daughter asked me to help her out with her newborn baby and charged me rent. Get ready with me, anonymous story time. In a little over a month, my daughter is having her first baby. Sadly, her husband isn't able to get some time off of work whenever the baby is born. My daughter has expressed to me that she feels as though she's going to be a single mother, especially because her husband's going to be traveling during the time that she is on maternity leave. I do want to clarify that he will be traveling for work purposes. My daughter's husband will be home sometime, but for the most part, my daughter is on her own for the first month. Because of her husband's situation, my daughter ended up asking me if I am willing to help her out for a month or so. I live roughly 6 hours away from my daughter, so I informed her that I would end up having to stay at her home to help her out because there is no way I'm going to be driving back and forth 5 to 6 hours. My daughter ended up saying that I can stay at her home for a month and help her out, and so I agreed. This is where the problem comes in. My grandbaby is due in a couple of weeks. And so my daughter basically informed me last night that because I'm staying at her home, I would need to pay for rent. I would need to pay for rent. Keep in mind, she asked me for help, but I need to pay rent. You see, at first I thought she was joking because my daughter can be a jokester and very sarcastic. But when she ended up telling me, no, I'm being serious, I kind of took a step back and I was actually really surprised and really shocked because I'm helping you, I'm doing you the favor, but you telling me this is not a joke? I told my daughter that I'm not going to pay rent, and that resulted in an argument. It blows my mind that she believes I'm being a ASSHOLE because I'm not helping her out with the bills, and honestly, I think she's being unreasonable. Despite telling her that I'm not going to pay her rent, I also made sure to express and inform her that I will no longer be helping her out. Because I said that, now she thinks I am being really messed up and I have no feelings and I don't care. But in reality, I feel like she's being very selfish and doesn't realize what I am doing for her. And I'm not trying to pin it back on her. Well, you know, she asked me to help her out, but in reality, I don't feel like she needs to charge me for rent because me, if I put myself in somebody else's shoes, I personally would not charge somebody if I'm the one needing them, if I'm the one asking for help. Do you get what I'm saying? In my opinion, I don't think I did anything wrong. I feel like my feelings are just as valid as hers. Let me know down below if you think I was a jerk or not. Also, let me know if you think I was in the wrong for telling her that I'm not going to pay rent and I'm not going to end up helping her out with her baby.